What's up, guys? I'll do the intro right now, just since this is going to be catalog later, whatever you want to call it, saved to our feed. Tonight, we have Kristen Matlock. She's going to join us to talk a little bit about her Baja 500, give us a little recap. Dude, that course was so gnarly. So gnarly. What's up, Doing Destroy boys? Eric, what's going on? DIY Builders. I don't know how to say your name. Chris Matlock. Let's see here. Let's get Kristen on real quick. Dang, she's on point. This will be good. So thank you guys all for joining us tonight, man. This could be cool. This bad boy, this rig right here behind us. She went to Baja too. Got a bunch of Baja all over her. Hi guys.
Did that work?
Wait and see what Kristen and Wayne's connection looks like here in just a second. Looks like it's a
I tried to
little
flip it.
slow. Hi guys, thanks for joining all of us. We're going to talk a little bit about Baja. Hi guys. Hey, will you turn your phone?
Is that better? No. Are we good or no?
Sideways.
Are we?
That's so funny though, because how many times does a co-driver say, "Hey, we're sideways"?
Hopefully never.
It still looks sideways.
Really?
It does flip up.
Okay. Let's do this.
Yeah, there we go. Is that okay? Hey, boys.
Hey.
Hey, Wayne, what's going on, man?
Oh, not much. How are you?
We're doing awesome. And hi, Kristen. Thank you very much for taking the time to hang out with us.
No problem. Glad to be here.
So, how are you guys feeling after this last week, man? It was a pretty brutal week.
Good, good. I've seen that orange car a couple times on the course.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
He's still got a whole bunch of Baja all over.
Yeah, we would go into we got by him and then go into limp mode and he'd get by us and I'd feel horrible because I felt like I was holding him up, and then we'd come out of limp mode and I'd get him again and then go back into limp mode. It was a struggle.
So, did you guys take off around the same time then?
He took off before us because we're in the open class now, so we start behind everybody.
Oh shit! Okay, I got you. All right, so let me do a little bit of an intro real quick. So last week, you guys, along with a whole bunch of other racers, were all down doing the Baja 500. It was one of, I don't know. I mean, you guys could probably tell us more, but it was one of the roughest Baja 500s in the past few years. And man, it was full of mechanicals. I think 40% of the field, 35% of the field actually finished. So we're going to kind of go into that and talk a little bit about your guys' race and how you guys did and stuff like that. So if anybody that's watching the feed here has any questions, you guys can always comment in and talk to Kristen and Wayne. Even the boys, they might have some extra point of view on what was going on at the race. So feel free to comment in and we'll try to get to you guys as much as possible. All right, so first question is, we're going to start it off with both of the boys. What's your guys' favorite place to get tacos? Clayton, you go first.
Probably
Quickly.
the Burrow.
Oh, you like the Burrow?
Yeah.
Wyatt, is that the same for you, or you got a different place?
It's the same.
Which tacos do you guys get then, man?
I just get beef tacos.
The shredded beef ones or the carne asada ones?
Cornea. Sada.
Dude, they're pretty good, right? I didn't get to eat at the Burrow, so is it better than El Trulero and Tacos El Poblano?
They're different. They're different.
Oh, here we go. The taco god coming in.
Now, you go to different places for different reasons, and the food's always good at the Burrow, and the family is amazing. You know, it's husband and wife and their daughter working there, and they treat us like family. It's a great place.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be pretty awesome. So next time I go down, I'm going to make sure that I stop there.
Yeah.
All right, so were the boys with you guys all week?
No, they came down
Wednesday.
We came back home for their graduation on Wednesday, and then brought them back down on Wednesday after Wyatt's graduation from grade school.
Hey, congratulations, Wyatt. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Where are you going next? What grade are you going to be in?
6.
Dude, 6th grade already?
Yep.
Man, that's crazy. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Hey, I always wondered, do kids at your guys' school think that you're extra cool because you know how to drive and shred a Polaris Razor?
I have no idea. They haven't talked about
You don't let them drive your Razor so they don't know about it yet? That's pretty cool. Okay, so when you guys got down there, when did you arrive down there?
We got them there Saturday.
Okay, so you were there for a full 7 days.
Yep. Started pre-running on Sunday and had to come home on Wednesday just for a bit for graduation. So we missed pre-running Wednesday, but then continued on when we got back Thursday.
I was surprised how quick and easy it was to get in and out. Like it only took us 3 hours to get down there, and it was super easy to get in and out.
Yeah, it wasn't bad this time.
Yeah, the border wait, we came home on Monday and the border wait was 25 minutes.
Oh, no way. You guys got quick then. Sunday was a little longer, but it wasn't too bad. So you guys get down there on Saturday, and what's the plan? Like, how do you execute all of the things that you're going to do? Because in my opinion, when we were there for 6 days, just a day later than you, but it was a little difficult to execute the whole course and pre-running and all of the other things that we needed to do, in my opinion, that short amount of time. So how did you guys go about it?
You just got to keep moving is the key. Like we did a lot of miles each day, but we just had to keep pushing forward, kind of like almost not race pace, but we didn't take a lot of times to go back and forth like we did in San Felipe, looking for lines and running lines. We just kind of saw everything once, and that was about it for this go around.
Yeah. In Felipe 250 for 250 miles, we'll pre-run for 6 days and just hit the course and multiple lines and line choices. But something like the Baja 500 here, we're all running on the same fire roads and dirt roads. So it's mainly we do everything one time and mark it really well as we go through with our lead nav, and it worked out really well. We knocked out about 200 to 250 miles a day pre-running.
Oh wow. Okay, so you guys really put in the effort with the pre-running stuff. I'm just learning, so it's nice to hear the way that the experts do it. Because when we were there, we didn't log near as many miles during the day, maybe 70.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now the key is get up early and just start moving. We had troubles the first day. We had water in our gas on both of our cars.
Oh, so, shoot! Really?
Yeah, and that was self-inflicted. Unfortunately, that had nothing to do with Baja fuel. We ended up with that from fuel that was sitting outside of our shop, and it wasn't good. So we got up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday to start pre-running, and we didn't actually start pre-running until 10:30. By the time we got figured out that we had water in the fuel, had to siphon it out of the tanks. We put it into big drums and we told the locals, like, here, just let the water settle down, and they were going to suck the fuel off the top later on. So it was free gas for them, and we went to the PMX station and gassed up and took off.
Oh wow, that's crazy. That's pretty neat that they were able to be that resourceful. Yeah, Seth Quintero just logged in and said Mexico gas is greater than American gas, apparently.
It actually is. It's better for the cars and everything than the fuel we get in California. The fuel in California is horrible.
It's kind of weird to think about that, but it is true though that you can get better stuff. Dune in Detroit said Dustin, he killed all of the awesome edits every day for the pre-running. He did a really good job.
Yeah.
Construction Co. said, Happy Father's Day, Wayne. You're a great example of how it's done.
Wayne on there?
Yeah, Wayne's on here. You want to say hi, Jimmy?
Am I in there?
Nope, you got to come closer.
Oh, I'm filthy working. Hey, Wayne.
Hey.
Hey, I just want to say thanks for being patient with us.
Oh, dude, thanks for being patient with me. I kept going into limp mode, and I felt like I was like, man, I get in front of them, and then I slow down.
Yeah, when we got behind you and back into the tight section, I was stoked because, I didn't want to tell my navigator get out and hike. So, hey, thanks to you guys, we didn't have to do much work,
Yeah, Danny was on it. Every time we came to a bottleneck, he jumps out, and we actually carry a rugged radio, a handheld, in our door bag for Danny. So when he jumps out, he's running ahead, and he's in radio contact with me the whole time. Nice. So you know what's going on just with those rugged radio handhelds. And Kristen does the same thing with her Codover.
That's perfect.
Dude,
yeah.
You guys, huh?
Yep. All right, I'm going back to it. See you guys.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. It's so neat to see all that stuff happen, like on the race course, and hear about it afterwards. Because you wouldn't think about how many times people's paths cross, and just how much goes on out there. You feel like whenever I think about it, I'm like, oh, you're racing on a course, you're just driving around. But there's way more that happens.
Oh yeah, the stuff that happens on the course, like you literally build lifetime memories and friendship and bonds with people that help you in and out of situations and like that. It's pretty amazing. There's more to racing than just the competition. It's mainly about the friendships and the camaraderie and the experience for us.
Oh, I don't know how this stuff works actually, but it says tap a question to answer, and your Bezit Racing, I don't know how to say it, says, will you guys be racing the Baja 1000?
Absolutely.
100%.
And now you have some, what do you call it, vengeance to get on the Baja 1000 now, since the Baja 500 was a little bit difficult.
Yeah, it's that happens in Baja and in racing. It's in racing in general. It's, if it was easy, everyone would do it, and Baja, it brings that to a whole new level. It definitely ramps up the difficulty and the amount of teamwork and everything else that you have to have, even especially when things don't go right, like they didn't for us. Our whole team pulled together, communicated really well, and got us both out of situations that we were in and could have been stuck there overnight. But we pulled.
It's for me, since I was basically the first time I've been down to Mexico for a long endurance desert race like this. Actually, Eddie King, my buddies, just said, great to see the whole family. Yeah, you know what? The family and the team atmosphere is exactly what Wayne's talking about. Basically, I had no idea that it was that gnarly. So when we went out there to pre-run, I was thinking, okay, this is going fine. And then starting to see people like on the tracking system, just basically stopping at the 30-mile mark, the 60-mile mark, not even making it to the 100-mile mark. I was thinking, holy cow, man, there is so much more that happens behind the scenes that nobody knows about, that just radio's communication has, or other drivers see that we don't get to see.
Yeah. So is this your first Baja race coming down?
It's not my first Baja race coming down, but it's my first Baja race participating in the back end.
Okay.
On
Yeah,
the
first
portion of it.
And being involved with everything and seeing all the logistics and seeing it play out
it's phenomenal. It's really phenomenal. And it's kind of cool. Like, do the boys get to see it a lot?
We lost their attention now. They're out.
Okay. I was just thinking that the boys got to see inside the trucks and the logistical portion of it, probably more than even a guy like me.
Actually, they stay back at Stero Beach. It's, there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong out there.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
And having us in the cars, mom and dad in race cars. And if we were to have our kids in the chase trucks, it's a little too much right now.
We had a question come in that I don't think you guys will be able to answer, but I'm going to throw it out there anyways. Will we see a new Polaris race car at the 1000?
Oh, shoot. Who knows? Polaris is always pushing the bar and striving for new things. And they have so many things in the works right now. We don't know when we're getting anything or when we'll be able to race it. But the only thing I do know is Polaris has amazing things in the future.
Yeah, it sounds good. We've heard a little bit about it too, and I really look forward to that potential new vehicle coming out. Rickard Jeffrey actually said, this is going to be a funny one. Speaking of boring, how was bonding with Danny under the stars next to the fire?
Oh, we had interesting conversations. We talked about Alien. We talked about all stuff. And then we had to assassinate a scorpion that was trying to assassinate us first.
Were you there as well, Kristen?
What?
Were you there as well?
No, that's when he was broken.
It was just Danny and I under the stars.
Oh man, so Baja's just trying to get you guys each time.
Yeah, well, where we were broke was up towards the Melling Ranch, and that whole road exists, the San Telmo Highway, to go to their national observatory, which is not far from where we broke, and it happens to be one of the best places in the world to see the stars because there's so little light pollution. So when we were sitting out there, the stars are amazing. It's like mind blowing seeing everything out there. That's just it's the amount of shooting stars we saw and everything else was pretty cool.
Dude, was that just Instagram bangers all night or what?
Yeah. There could be worse places to be broke down. That's for darn sure. We actually had a local family that was driving like a Dodge Durango down the course. It was a rancher, his wife, and 2 daughters. And it's dark out. And that guy stopped there, and we were out of water. We already drank all of our water and our spare water. So this guy got a big, like 10-gallon jug out of his car and gave us 2 cups and started filling the cups up for us for water. So gave us plenty of water. And then he let us borrow his lighter. So we made a fire, and it was awesome.
Holy cow, man. What an experience.
Yeah, it was awesome. Then our chase guy, we had these sat radios. They're push-to-talk sat radios from Satellite Phone Store. And so we were able to communicate the whole time with our crew. And they work like 2-way radios, but off satellite system.
Right.
So for everything that's going on. And so we had a chase guy go on course in Kristen's pre-runner and deliver A-arms and a rear hub and pizza, Costco pizza on the course. That was key.
That's pretty cool, man. It's, at least, I guess if you're looking at your glass half full, which you got half full on course, but you're looking at your glass half full, what a better place to break down, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got to have a positive attitude. I'm not going to lie to you and say it was positive the whole time. There was time that my glass was empty and I smashed the glass. It was pretty disheartening, but all in all, you know, I'm healthy, Kristen's healthy, co-drivers, everyone's happy, everyone had a good time, and we're going to be back to do it again. That's the main thing.
I do have to tell you, I didn't actually see you pass by, Wayne, because I think we got there after you. But at the first, I think we were at mile maybe 30, 33 or something like that. Kristen flew by. I couldn't even see her. It was just like a flying dust cloud. I was like, holy cow, man.
Yeah. She was definitely moving good. And it was a bummer that part failed, you know, aftermarket part. But, you know, live and learn. We won't make that mistake again. We're going to improve that piece. And she'll be back stronger than ever for the 400.
Well, I definitely want to talk about some more of the positive stuff. So let's get the negative stuff out of the way right now. So what were the issues that you guys faced, and about where on race course was it?
Start with me.
Go ahead.
Okay.
A shorter story.
Yeah, it is. Mine actually started happening about race mile 175, right where the bottleneck was, where everybody was tangled up in there. I was actually on the line that we were all taking around the bottleneck whenever I broke. So it started with brakes fading, and then all of a sudden I heard some clunking going on, and then no brakes. So I knew something was going, haywire. So I pulled over and assessed the situation and found that it was the bracket that houses the brake caliper had broken, and so therefore the brake caliper was just loose in the wheel, and it took out my knuckle back there. And so where the upper radius rod was mounting into that had been broken off, so the radius rod was just flopping around as well. So not good. And about race mile 23 is what has been reported. I lost my jack, apparently. Wayne actually saw it out there with a couple others that messaged me and said, hey, was it an AGM jack that you lost? I'm like, yeah, definitely. It was the good one. Yeah. So I didn't have a jack to make the repairs. So I was flagging down a few people that were passing me, as they went by, just to see if they would possibly carried 2. Nobody carries 2, but you never know. And Wayne comes along with Danny, and he knew I had lost the jack, so he pulled in right away, had Danny jump out, get his jack off, and gave it to me. And then they continued on and got right out in front of second place in their class just in time. So we made a few repairs that we could without the proper part. We needed a knuckle, and just limped it down the road to where there was an access road. I thought my chase crew would be able to get in there, so I just planted myself there, and messaged them and called them on the PTT from Satellite Phone Store, and they said they were on their way. So I just kind of put everything away and didn't hear anything for a while. So I got back on the radio, and Wayne answered me, and I was like, whoa. Wait a minute, he's supposed to be racing right now. It was kind of weird. Yeah. And he explained that about 3 miles ahead of me, he had an accident and ripped his A-arms almost off the vehicle. So he was not going to be able to make repairs to the vehicle. And had went ahead and unbolted the knuckle for me off of his car and sent his co-driver Danny hiking back to us 3 miles to where he
Whoa.
Yeah, so super cool of them to do that. Danny showed up a while later because it was a hike.
It was a hike through silt beds.
Yeah.
And through the mountains and silt beds and stuff. 3 miles carrying a knuckle, a hub, a rotor, and a caliper.
Yeah.
And a bag of bolts. So
much stuff. He came in all sweaty and out of water, of course, dehydrated. So he sucked down the rest of our water too.
Yeah.
And we made the repairs and got him back to Wayne and was able to continue on and finish our race, thankfully. But these guys have a whole nother story to tell.
Yeah.
That in itself is a crazy story. So a couple of things that I picked out from there, being able to pre-run, it was difficult for me just to walk around on any of that course. So when you talk about hiking, like that's not like an easy feat in itself. Like, and 3 miles in that type of terrain is like insane.
It was a ton of silt, a lot of uphills, downhills, rocks everywhere. And then you've got, traffic still coming at you from racers still on the race course. So he was having to dash out into the bushes every time a racer came through, just fearing for it.
Yeah. Off-road hazard said Danny is an absolute stud. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, for sure. He didn't even hesitate. But as soon as we broke, he looked at me. He said, "Well, find a good spot to pull off to the side, and let's take the rear knuckle off. I'll run it back to Kristen." Because he jumped out of the car, and I told him, I said, "I think I bent a tie rod," and he looked at me and said, "No, it's a whole lot more than a tie rod." So we weren't going anywhere. The tire was laying over on its side, and it mangled the A-arms pretty good.
That's crazy. It's insane to see how good these Polaris Razors actually do. I want to show you guys something too on this vehicle. I don't know if you can see it, Wayne, but that can you see this knuckle?
It's hard to see. Yeah, I see. I can't see what's.
So they actually came home with that bad boy. The top arm sitting on the bottom arm. No axle, and all of the knuckle was pretty much just shredded.
Yeah,
but they actually
ours through. It's amazing that they can even do 25% of the course with a production built car like this. Go to a Ford Raptor out and see how long it lasts.
Dude, they finished the last 15 miles with it broken like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was just amazed. I was like, man, it's a real testament to what these UTVs can do these days.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Continued through the night, and it was just we were running about 4 hours behind schedule, unfortunately, the whole time, and finally made it to the finish line about 4:15 in the morning, and that's it. We actually discovered that the other side of my car at the finish line, where the caliper sits in the bracket was broke on that side too. It was about to go, so I would have been so bummed if that happened just before the finish. But
I'm glad that you guys were able to bring it home. Do you think that, how do I say this? Do you think that changing a driving style would help with any of that? Because the terrain is so rough. I got a bunch of comments coming in and said, what if you're just a smoother driver? I could do it. It's no problem. But
of course,
yeah, I'm the best driver in the world, right? But yeah, I don't really agree with that when I saw the pre-run stuff. But at a race pace, is there a finesse that you can include to help save parts?
Well, this particular part sees no. You could smash into a wall, and this part would see no wear. It was literally the bracket that holds the brake caliper onto the knuckle. So it's a flat piece of billet aluminum. It sees no stress, no wear. It would see more wear and tear if you were on a road course, on a pavement road course, than it would if you're on an off-road course, just because you'd be on the brakes more coming into the turns. It fatigued. We basically used the wrong material is what happened. It needs to be made out of some chromoly and about a 1/4 inch thick plate and machined to fit, and it would be perfect. It's not a piece where billet aluminum should have been used. But live and learn. We've ran these particular pieces for, I would say, 1,500 miles and have had no issues at all. My car perfectly fine, but my car does have less miles because I didn't get to complete 1,000 like Kristen did. So we're replacing all 4 on both cars, and we won't have that problem again. Usually she drives the car extremely smooth. I mean, you can have been passed by her, been around her. She's pretty smooth at driving. If anyone,
that's actually where I was headed, because I know that Kristen's a very smooth driver. I know that between the two of you, Kristen is a little less aggressive than Wayne.
possibly,
Maybe a little more finesse.
We had a couple comments come in. Joe Burnell said, you two are awesome. Good job, Matlocks. I agree. Good job to them. Just bringing a car home on that type of course is just insane. Kristen, I don't know if you were just super tired or when you got back to the finish line and stuff like that, because everybody was tired. But I saw you barely at the end, and I was cheering, yay, like, good job.
I didn't even see you.
Yeah, it was hard, though.
All I could think about was food. I was starving and cold and just ready to be showered and put to bed, because, we went to bed at like 6 o'clock in the morning and got up at 9:30 in the morning, and that's all I needed, but I really needed it.
Oh, I got to go.
Yep,
I got someone to meet me here.
Thank you very much, and good job at the 500, man. We really appreciate you coming on.
I can tell a story. I know the whole story.
So Rick or Jeffrey says you're more patient. Well, I don't know if Kristen's that patient. She's a really good driver, man. She hauls ass.
I try. I'm patient till I'm not, that's for sure.
What were some of the fun things that happened on course while you guys were moving, or maybe even after you got moving again?
We had a great time up until we started having issues. We felt pretty good. We were battling with the Honda team up in the micro area. At one point we were first, physically in that class, in the pro NA class. But he got by me because I was floored. I don't know. He kind of passed me like I was standing still in the twisties, but my clutching wasn't completely dialed in. I was losing RPMs whenever it came to hill climbs and stuff like that. So I felt like I was going fast, but obviously I wasn't. I was trying my hardest though. But yeah, we battled. He got around me and then he kind of just sat there. I could see him. He was in eyesight for, I don't know, probably 5-10 miles through there.
How was the dust on course? Was it pretty gnarly?
Yeah, it was pretty bad for sure.
Johnny was waving hi. So hi, Johnny. How are you?
Hey. Long time no see.
Yeah, long time for sure. He's got his Baja records already as well. So TULP12 says Dakar 2022? ?
Yeah, I think we're actually gonna postpone it till 23 just to get some testing and developing done, I believe.
Yes, sounds good. You guys have a full schedule already in 2021, so it's going to be cool to see you guys do the rest of the score races. So like I was asking before, though, when you guys got going, I heard a bunch of people saying that from, what mile marker was it? Kind of like right when you get out of the loop at the bottom to go back up on the coast, that it was really beautiful there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was dark for me because I didn't track until just as the sun was going down. So it was like actually 8 o'clock at night when I got back on course at race mile 180. So. And
this car was a couple hours behind you too, so I think that they probably missed the beach area right there too. What was the differences in
when I was broken? They got ahead of me there.
Oh, okay. They wrecked the front of the car at mile like 235-ish area.
Oh, okay.
So gotcha. That's probably when you guys leapfrogged them.
Yep.
So
it was mile 25, right when it comes back over, like you were saying at the bottom there.
Gotcha. How many people do or what's the usual? We had, I think, 3 or 4 people that were helping with the logistics and the pitch strategy. What do you guys usually do?
We just touch in as many areas as possible, that's convenient for the truck to get in and out of without being stuck, and then also be able to leapfrog to the next pit. So we run 2 chase trucks and just have them leapfrog practically the whole time. This time was a little bit different because we shared a vehicle inland, knowing that we were pretty much going to lose them. had one truck go from Ojos to Valley T and back to Ojos again.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, so we shared that truck. And then the rest of them, we just leapfrogged down south on the coast.
Oh, we just had a couple of comments come in. Seth wins at making it the least amount of miles. He went to mile 8.
Ooh, that's so tough.
Seth is a fantastic driver, though. We wish he could have made it a little bit further. Lolo Locks asks, question, how long was that Jimco truck holding the race at 170? So is that where the bottleneck was that you were saying?
Yeah, that was the bottleneck. I'm not certain when that got cleared because I got around him even limping out of there. We were able to take that line I was telling you about around that one. So it was a long, long time. I know that.
Because are you sweet? Yeah. Well, next time Seth will actually be able to do a little bit better because I'll have some stuff worked out. It is cool to see how many people were there, though, because unfortunately the ratio of finishers was pretty low, but the ratio of people that were there was massive. I couldn't believe it, how many actual people were signed up and racing.
Yeah, what was that number in the end? I remember they said that, but
I didn't get the actual number, but I was looking at the sheets, and I didn't count either, but I was looking at the sheets, and it was like, it looked to me almost like double the amount of pages that were there last year.
yeah, there's a lot of people there for sure. I thought it was close to 250. I might be a little bit heavy on that number, but that's a lot of teams down there.
Hey, so do you want to get political for a second? Because I had a stat come over to me, what was it, 2 days ago, that said something like only 9% of the racers that were out there, and I don't know if this was trophy truck class or if it was overall or whatever it was, actually didn't get penalized during the race. And I don't want to say, like, I'm not accusing people that they did a job bad or they cheated or something, but there was a lot of differences. There was a bunch of ECPs and there was all kinds of things that you had to be very, very cautious of or careful of. So do you have anything to say, like, on their behalf?
What were you saying about the 9%?
Well, 9% of them were the only, so 91% of the people had infractions.
Oh, really? 91% had infractions, only 9%.
Yeah, so it was a crazy stat. And again, this was given to me, so I don't know if that stat holds true or whatever it was, but it was,
Yeah.
It was a good thing to think about because I was thinking to myself, maybe SCORE is making the courses more difficult. Maybe they're making them a little bit more fair. Maybe it's qualifying people better. Like, to me, these things are positives, not negatives pointing the finger. But it's showing people that the people that do it properly are going to be higher up in the rankings.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of time for SCORE to start enforcing that kind of stuff, like as far as penalties go, they've got to do something to make it safer for everybody down there and ensure that we get to continue racing. So unfortunately, I think that's what happened on some of those big ones there. Do I think it was a little bit drastic? I don't really want to say too much on that. I think possibly, but I got a penalty for like 28 seconds on speeding, which I hardly ever do, but I was having trouble keeping it at that 37 for that long is so difficult, especially when you're tired. It was actually when my co-driver was falling asleep over there and I was not fall asleep too with him. So some of those downhills, it was just tough to keep it going 37. I'd hit 40 and I'm like, oh no, back off. So I did get some penalty there, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like to, I don't want to say anything bad,
Yeah, and I don't think that they're bad. I think it's kind of good actually that SCORE is actually putting some of these things or enforcing them. And I don't like to see anybody get penalties, but it is neat because it makes you think a little bit more about the race strategy and stuff like that. What happened to you though, I thought that was going to happen to way more people because there was so many people that were tired and had almost no recollection. I even asked our driver at the end of the race, I said, do you remember this? And he goes, I have no idea how I did it because I don't remember any of that portion of the course.
Yeah, I know. You just get to the point where you're just done, you know, and then you have this long highway section at the very end, and that's where I think I got all of mine, was the very finish. You know, it's a long section when it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you're tired and cold and just want to be done.
Absolutely. And you did the whole course solo, right?
I did. Yep.
That's pretty phenomenal as well. These guys behind me, they split it up into two, and they were still just smoked. So kudos to you for being able to do that. So what was the drive home like? Just kind of talking about what you're going to do to progress for the 400?
Yeah, we always make notes in our pit books. So I gathered up those pit books and was kind of reading through everything, like especially if we use any parts or lose any tools, that's all written down in the book. So we organized that on the way home. We talked about our race cars, what we noticed wasn't working properly and what needs to be fixed or changed, or, you know, any modifications that need to be made. So yeah, that's what Wayne and I just always drive home together and talk about that. And, you know, if we have any questions along the way, we've got our whole team going home with us. So we get on the radio and start talking to them. That's about it. That's our strategy for the drive home. It's not very far from Ensenada. So
Yeah. But it's funny how many things go through your mind, though, after a race, right? Especially a race where you sometimes see a little bit of negatives, like what happened to you guys. It's always good to win the race, but sometimes more refreshment comes out of a race like what you guys had this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to struggle or you know, break or have any issues like that, but I honestly think there's a positive side of it, and that's makes you appreciate when you do well in the future and have those like flawless races. So makes you appreciate the wins a lot more, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think you know, sometimes spoiled and things just go too smooth sometimes. So, and then
Well, but that's what you guys champions, though,
great.
because you guys are looking at it from that angle.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So like I said, unless you break parts and know what's going to fail, then there's no way to improve upon him.
Hey, and Jeffrey Ricker says, or Ricker Jeffrey says, and keto-friendly churros at the border.
They're always friendly at the border.
Savage UTV says, we heard that the 400 may be held back in town. Looking forward to a traditional. Yeah, I heard a bunch of people talking about that. I've never seen it in town. Is that pretty cool?
Oh, it's amazing. So much better. That's the one thing that I really, really miss with this whole COVID thing going on was, you know, just the fans. I mean, you literally have tens, 20,000, 30,000 people, you know, like surrounding you at tech and contingency, and you get to pass out stickers and t-shirts and sign autographs, and it's so much fun. I know a lot of people dread it because you're there all day long, but as long as you plan for it and know it's going to happen, you can make the best of that as well. So it's fun.
So like washed up media guys like me, I could just be getting tons of content. It'd be like my best day ever.
Absolutely. I can't, yeah, you've seen it, surely.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll have to attend when that's happening for sure. It's for sure. They said the Baja 1000s like 100% going to be back in town is what they told me. And then they're crossing their fingers for the 400. So fingers crossed that it's back to normal by then.
Hey, I don't know if you just saw that comment come in, but Quad Girl 22W says, you're such an amazing athlete. And you're such an amazing athlete. And thank you for your inspiration.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I actually got a chance to take her for a ride when we were testing and shaking down the race car before we headed down there. So,
dude, Quad Girl 22, I'm so jealous. I'd like to go for Kristen Matlock. And then Seth Quintero also said, point of view of on international racing versus domestic racing, Dakar versus Score versus Best in the Desert, Legacy, etc.
Yeah. I mean, I love Baja. That's ultimately my favorite. And I just like the fact that we get to go down there, spend a week with our crew, pre-running. You know, it's just a time to develop our bond together and just have fun and meet up with other teams. It's so cool, like hanging out at a taco shop with other teams and discussing race strategies and what's gone on with their pre-running and just stuff like that. And that doesn't happen in the States. You know, there isn't pre-running allowed. Also pits. I like the pit strategy part of it, where you can pick wherever you want to pit, you know, and so there's strategy involved. Where other races in the States, you're told exactly where you have to pit because of the BLM issues and stuff. So I prefer Baja, and the international races like Dakar. That was an amazing experience. Like I keep repeating on that one, and definitely I love their organization. That was just beyond next level, you know, for so that's what I appreciated there. Like when they said they were going to start at the second, they started at that second. You know, there's nothing was late there. So
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And to go along with that, Seth, I think Seth can probably attest to this as well because he was down there. Like I've been to a million races in the desert here for Best in the Desert in the United States, and first of all, I love them all. But when I was down there we're going to call this my first time down in Baja. The vibe was totally different. The setup was totally different. The atmosphere was totally different. I left there on the way home driving back to the United States, already wanting to turn around, hang a U-turn, go back and race myself if there was another race. You know what I mean? Like it was that vibe that just kind of sucks you back in. So I can totally understand what you're saying.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, down there too.
Seth also she said, how about the corporate side of international versus domestic? Is there one organ? Yeah. So I think you kind of answered that with understanding of the way that the Dakar organization is. Joe Burnell actually sent in a question and said, do you and Wayne plan to race again together in the future?
Together? Like in the same car? Is that what maybe?
Well, I think actually you said something, but if it was in the same car, I think you already answered this in a previous video that we did together. You're like, no way.
No, we did it. Well, we shared a car for the Nora rally a couple years ago now, and that's the only time that I've ever shared driving duties with anybody. It's just because we wanted to do it for fun and just take one car down and just have fun. And then as far as having him in the car with me, he drove for me my very first race ever, and then that was it. It's not happening again. We did great. We got first overall, which was awesome, but he is not a good passenger at all. And why?
And plus, you guys have two cars. Why don't you just drive separate, right?
Right.
Charo in Baja says, hi, Kristen, Matlock. Viva Baja, viva Tecate Baja.
See.
And Ricker Jeffrey also said, even on the chasing side, so many rules in the States versus score. Yeah, and I don't know too much about that, but like I said, the vibe and the way that it worked down in Mexico was fantastic. Like sometimes it gets a little sketchy because you have to watch out for things, but as long as you're just a smart individual and you think ahead, I think it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, we always try to time our pits to where our chase crew doesn't have to hurry to the next pit. I think that's huge, especially down in Baja where it's just 2-lane roads and we don't want anyone to have to drive 90 miles an hour and stress about getting there and getting set up. So as long as you strategize the pits, then there's no reason to put anybody in danger down there.
Quad Girl 22 again, she says, that's right, no way. She's the only driver.
Right.
No, there's a good passenger, says Seth Quintero. Hey, isn't there some people that are decent passengers that still shred behind the wheel, though? And he's not a good chase with either. I don't know. Is that to Wayne?
Oh, yeah, probably because he jumped in the vehicle whenever they broke, you know, and ended up having to chase back up to Estero Beach.
And Lolo Locke said, yeah, tell me about it. Chasing Tavo was hard. I could only imagine how fast you have to go to chase after those trophy trucks. They probably have to have quite a bit more logistical preparation.
Yeah, I think they have more stationary pits than what we do because they have so much to set up and take down.
Seth Quintero says he loves being a passenger, put things in a perspective for sure. Yeah, totally. Have you ever tried being a passenger, Seth, and not holding on to the O ship bar, just sitting there? Then you know if the driver's smooth or not.
That's true. Yeah, I've co-driven a couple of times for Wayne, and I learned a lot from it actually. And I also learned an appreciation for my co-drivers too. There's a lot going on over in that seat. It's crazy.
That brings up a good point, though, too. It's like, you know how they say in like a normal corporate world, like you start as a janitor and you work your way up to be the CEO, and you're a good CEO because you know everything that happens within the organization. Do you guys kind of think like that with the race team, too?
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody, should have to do everything. It doesn't matter who you are. Just jump in there and be a good team player and learn as you go because like you said, if you don't know how to do everything, you could find yourself in a situation and you're just going to be stuck. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And
side of it. I haven't always been very good at the mechanics side, but now that I've seen the car be torn down and put back together enough times, and even when we were out there with the brake caliper and knuckle and putting all that back together, I really paid attention and because I want to be able to fix things if I need to and continue on. So
it just makes for the team to be that much better and that much more efficient, right?
right, exactly.
Lolo Locke said, "Yeah, plans change all the time." Lolo, right? He said, "Planned 3 pits, stopped 8 times unplanned pits."
What's that?
Well, he's just saying kind of how you got to just be flexible in your race strategy. They planned 3 pits, but they ended up stopping 8 times that were unplanned.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it sounds like some of that stuff happens. I guess that pretty much happens to every team, I would guess.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, like we tried to make another pit in there. I couldn't get the race crew or the chase truck into where I was. So fortunately, it all worked out where Wayne and Danny were able to bring the part to me because I guess where we were located, it was just not accessible unless you were in a razor. So I would have had to wait a lot longer and I might have timed out by the time all that happened.
Man, that's so cool that you were able to get that support, though. Rickard Jeffrey also says he likes co-driving. You're busy, so much going on, making the race makes the race go by pretty fast. I've never got to do it, but what do your co-drivers usually say, Kristen?
I mean, they do well as far as being able to stay in there with me for the most part. The only time I've ever had to change co-drivers during a race is the Peninsula run because I think I've told you before I kind of just needed a fresh person in there because I'm getting tired, they're getting tired, so I need somebody that's not as tired as me to jump in halfway down the peninsula. But otherwise, I try to get a co-driver that can hang with me the whole time, just like I do, and then we just flow together. But yeah, they're busy over there. They're constantly reading the GPS or the lead nav on our iPads and watching gauges and trying to look out the front as much as possible too. But for the most part, they're just staring down at that iPad the whole time.
Yeah, it's a pretty busy position, and it's a very important position. Hey, you might know this guy, Matt Martelli. He said, "What was your favorite part of this year's Baja 500?"
Crossing the finish line.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that was by far my favorite. I mean, I love starting the race. That's, probably where I'm the most pumped up and trying to just remain calm, but there's no adrenaline rush like the start, that's for sure. And then I felt really good, like I said before, until 175 miles into it, and then that's when it fell apart for me. But being able to overcome the struggles and the obstacles that we endured and make it across that finish line was definitely the highlight of the day.
Yeah, 100%. And just like I said, that course was from what I heard, was one of the rougher courses of the Baja 500s in the past couple of years.
Yeah, every year I say this, it gets rougher and rougher. And yeah, the rain ruts from like the Acombro area to the finish line were just insane. You come up over a rise and you expect it to be smooth on the other side, and it's just rain ruts all the way across, and there's nothing you can do except drive through them.
Yeah, exactly. Which is just insane. I mean, like that's it to me. It's really, really hard to understand because I wasn't out there. I'm trying to look at some of the results right now. So in Pro UTV NA, there was, it looks like roughly 12 or so people, and 5 cross the finish line. So
Okay.
it looks like 40, maybe 45% of the people actually finished. I think it was worse than some of the other classes.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing too. That I wonder what the overall total was, or the overall percentage for the whole race, but I know the attrition rate was extremely high this go around.
Seth also, let's see here. Rick or Jeffrey also said, easier way to get pizza, Kristen.
Than to break.
Yeah, just go to the finish line, haul butt to the finish line and get some pizza. Seth Quintero also said, do you think we should start limiting pre-running or leave it stay the same? Actually, let me actually think. I think that's actually a pretty wide open question, because there's no chance that you're going to stop pre-running, because people are just going to go down there earlier and then just do the course anyway. So if you don't have a map, you're going to at least know a little bit about it, and you're still going to go try to find the course markers and things like that. So I don't know how that works, but maybe you can give your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think SCORE should possibly think about limiting it a bit by releasing them later and course notes. So maybe like give them the weekend beforehand, let everybody pre-run 1 weekend beforehand, and then the week of the race. And that's it, because we're just tearing up the roads down there and the courses down there with all this pre-running for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking how the locals feel about it too, because when we were out there pre-running, we were being pretty respectful to the farmland and to all these guys. But I'm not going to name names, but there were some dudes being douchebags out there. They were just fucking up the course, and it was bad, man. Like, I felt super bad for the ranchers and stuff, and that's no way to appreciate what you have down there.
Right. No, that's how we're just going to get it shut down, and it's just going to be the end of it, and it's going to, yeah, it's so sad. So hopefully it doesn't come down to that, but I think some changes definitely need to be made with pre-running.
And it sounds like SCORE has a good idea of what to happen. Matt Martelli also said UTVs beat all the 10 cars this race. So yeah, Matt, we actually talked about this on the last Dirt Life show with Pro Turbo UTV champion of the Baja 500, Brandon Sims. It was pretty crazy to see that Brandon actually finished, I think it was 30th position, ahead of all the 10 cars, ahead of, I think, most of the spec trucks. Like, it was phenomenal how fast and how high of a pace he had.
Yeah. Yeah, I think actually the Baja 500 last year, when I got the overall, when it was down in San Felipe, I beat all the 10 cars and would have been 4th in class 1 when we were down there.
Holy smokes, really?
So these UTVs are getting faster and faster. They've come so far in such a short period of time. It's incredible.
During that race, how did you feel your pace was? Did you feel like you were pushing the car to the complete limit?
Yeah, I was pretty much on the throttle the entire time, because down in San Felipe, it's wide open. Even on the whoop section, where you think you'd slow down a bit, I'm still just scooting over the top of them for the most part. So, man,
that wouldn't have happened 5 years ago. That's super cool. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Perunas Racing said, "Where did Wayne go? We want to hear his story."
Oh, he's filling up the pool, because the boys, we had to drain the pool before we left, and now we finally got a big water truck in here. The boys are dying to go swimming. It's been like almost 100 degrees since we got back.
Yeah, today in Temecula was 106. So if I had the opportunity, I'm just going to go down to your house and jump in the pool.
More than fresh.
Maybe you could give us a little bit of a background on what happened with Wayne. Just give us a quick breakdown of it so that we can make that person happy. Tell them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, shortly after the start, they found that they had some wires on their car that mistakenly got pinched in between the frame and the aluminum panels that bolt on, and created a fire. So initially, right off the start, they had a fire and lost their radiator fans because of it. So then they were having some overheating issues, continued on the best that they could, just having to watch water temps. And then at race mile 45, there was a silt bed, I believe, a silty section where there was a lot of people stuck in there. And there was a class 10 car that had previously been stuck and moved forward just enough to pick up his co-driver. But when he did so, he went up and over a rise and stopped on the other side of a rise. And Wayne, unfortunately, was doing about 45 miles an hour and plowed into the back of this guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's when he broke his frame or his chassis in a bunch of spots, and not too bad to where he couldn't continue on. So he kept racing. And then the one that took him out was what I was discussing earlier with you, where I was broke 3 miles past me. There was a danger that said danger, hole on left. And unfortunately, the only thing that got called out to Wayne was danger. And there was a person that in a truck that had already hit that danger and was parked off to the right. And so instantly when he says danger, he goes to the left to avoid right. Well, it was danger, hole on left, and he dropped it right into that hole and ripped the A-arms, to, I don't know if they were off of the car, but damaged both sides of the A-arms.
Yeah, and it's real difficult to see. People don't understand how difficult it is to see in some of that dust. And even when it's not silt beds, even when it's just a regular terrain.
Yeah.
Lolo Locks, we'll see you later, man. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Eddie King says, go swim, boys. I don't know if you know who Eddie King is, Kristen. He's one of my buddies that I went mountain biking with, but he is a previous BMX champion, like legendary Jeremy McGrath style in BMX.
I think this is my Eddie King. I think you have a different. That's my dad.
Oh, okay. That's my bad then. So I was thinking it was my buddy, but
yeah,
hey, they got almost the same screen name. So hey, maybe your dad, I'll just keep him and say that he's a BMX champion too.
Hey, he wouldn't.
So Ricker Jeffrey says pre-run by helicopter. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was talking about. Like, it doesn't matter what rules they change. Racers are always going to find a way to try to get a competitive advantage. So I think the main thing that Kristen was trying to relay, and Kristen, you can tell me if I'm wrong, is that people need to respect the pre-running. They need to respect the land down there.
Yeah, definitely respects has been an issue, I would say, in the past. I've watched a lot of guys like the Arendara area that's down there, just go by all those homes that are right on the coastline, and they have speed bumps out there and everything, just trying to slow everybody down. But it's race course, but pre-running, we need to just go slow and not create all this dust. And on race, a whole different story, but stuff like that. But my other point was the fact that I think we just need to limit it a bit with SCORE saying, hey, pre-running's only open the weekend prior and the week of the race, and anything else would be considered illegal at that point, and the map's not going to come out in prior. So that's what I would say should happen. I don't know what's truly going to happen, but that's our opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's actually a good way to do it. Photos by MMX said her boys are BMX champs. Hey, so maybe Eddie King should be, maybe your dad should be a BMX champion. The boys are like, hey, we're going to hang out with Grandpa.
Yep. My dad's a big-time fisherman and was, in his past life, so to say, was a professional country musician.
No way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's super cool.
So that's his background. But now he is a fishing grandpa to Wyatt and Clayton. He took them to Estero Beach when we were there. He took them fishing every day. They caught a bunch of eels and all kinds of random fish out there, but the eels were pretty cool.
Yeah, so Dustin just commented in and said, Eddie King caught 50 fish with us this weekend, and to find out he's a BMX champ too. No, I was just saying Eddie King is a BMX. Well, yeah, okay, he's a BMX. We'll just give him it. Yeah. That's insane, man. I should have been hanging out with you guys. We would have had all kinds of fresh stuff, right? Eddie makes the best hamburgers too, I guess. One
of my favorite sushi items is eel. So I'm like, come on, next time, bring that over to the Estero Beach restaurant and give it to him fresh for me, would you?
Whoa, fun fact.
Yeah. Yep, eel and spicy tuna. Those are my favorites.
Does Wayne like that too?
He does, actually. Yeah. He used to hate sushi and was like terrified of it because he doesn't like the taste of fishy fish. But I introduced him to those and they're real mild, so he likes them. Uh-oh. What about the boys? Do they get adventurous like you guys? Clayton actually tried sushi for the first time and liked it, but Wyatt had tried sushi probably a year or two ago and at the table. So oh, crap. He's still traumatized from that experience. He's going to have to age a few years before he gets back into it, huh? Maybe like a date or something. He'll be forced to try it. Well,
We'll have to see what happens. Hey, make sure that we interview him after that and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. We really enjoy talking with you every time that you come on, and it's unfortunate that your guys' results weren't higher at the race, but it's super cool to see how much of a smile you have on your face.
Yeah, I enjoy every race that we enter, and whether the results are win or lose, oh well, there's always the next one.
Yeah, 100%. Well, actually, so maybe you can tell us what's the next plan for you.
Our next one is the Baja 400. We're actually getting ready to have a nice river season and have some fun with our boys throughout the summer. We do have a big Baja ride that we put on each year. We go to San Quintin. That's the last weekend of July. So if you know of anybody that wants to go on that with us, we've got a few spots left. But other than that, we're going to put the razors away just a very, very short period of time and bring them back out for the Baja 400. But we just had some new pre-runners delivered today we get to build, so that'll be exciting.
Yay! That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit more info on what the San Quintin trip entails?
Yeah, we actually spend Thursday night, which is July 29th, at Estero Beach. And that's just when we get together and kind of gather and have some dinner and drinks and have fun and some jacuzzi time. And then we get up the next morning on Friday morning and go from Estero Beach down to San Quintin. So it's about 150 miles of coastline. Absolutely gorgeous. That section that you were talking about that is just beautiful up and down the coastline, that's included in this ride. So we end up
fun.
Yeah. So then we go down to San Quintin and spend Friday night, get up day, and we have our favorite orphanage that we take everybody to that on Saturday, and we get to go there and give the orphans rides, and we bring backpacks for their school supply, a bunch of school supplies and backpacks for them from all of our awesome sponsors that contribute for that. And then come back and usually hit a couple of the little restaurants along the way back, and then on Sundays when we do our ride back to Estero Beach and spend the night on Sunday night and head home on Monday. So
it sounds like it'd be a pretty cool trip, man. Don't he just walked out, but don't tell James. Maybe I'll steal the pre-runner from him and go down there with you guys.
You should definitely do it. You'll have so much fun.
I really like the fact that you guys are giving back too, because when I was down there, like I said, the vibe was my favorite part of it. I won't forget this until the day I die. We were sitting at that Pemex station just after mile 310 on the side of the road. The kids were out there obviously getting stickers and stuff like that, but they were riding wheelies to show off for us. We put them in the vlog. Like, it was amazing to see how amped they were. I mean, I could just remember when I was a little kid, I didn't get the opportunity to go to a gas station and get stickers, but I would love to show off and do that. And they got the opportunity to do it in front of racers and stuff. Like, the smile on their faces was insane. So I can only imagine what it's going to be like when you go down and give them backpacks and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did it 2 years ago now. We didn't get to go last year because of COVID, unfortunately. But yeah, 2 years ago, it was just such an amazing experience. We can't wait to get back down there for sure.
Okay, so one last question from Matt Martelli. He says, how does it feel to be influencing all these new women to come race?
It feels absolutely amazing. I tell everybody all the time, I've got girls, up and coming girls, messaging me on a weekly basis, and it just makes me feel so good to be able to talk to them and give them all of the information that they're looking for in order to get started themselves in racing. And some of them are just wanting to get started driving razors or UTV, so it doesn't matter, what they're looking for. I'm here for them, whatever questions that they have. I just love the fact that they reach out to me, and I make sure that I always get back with every single one of them.
So another fun fact, I actually have some people always direct messaging us talking about their dirt life, right? And there was 2 young girls that race go-karts actually in Arizona. And those go-kart girls couldn't admire you anymore, man. They were so stoked. And they knew, I was like, man, you race go-karts, but you totally know about this off-road stuff? They're like, yeah, Kristen's our favorite.
Aw, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
After year, I've just become a little bit more well known in different areas too, like you said, like go-karts and snowmobiles. There's other girls out there that are starting to know my name in different disciplines, and I think that's so special, and yeah, if anyone ever has any questions, just please reach out to me. I want to help everybody get started in it and live out your dreams too.
Hey, but no promises. She might not go to the snow. She likes the desert better.
It's so true. I'm not really a cold person. I don't like the cold.
I agree 100%. Well, hey, thank you very much for joining us, Kristen. We really appreciate it. You're doing a fantastic job with the racing, obviously, with the family. And please thank Wayne and the boys for letting you take time while they're filling up the pool.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Always. We'll see you later. Thank you very much. And great to see you back in the United States.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us and asking all those questions to Kristen. She really is a big inspiration. It's nice to see somebody that's so level-headed and understanding about things that are going on outside of her racing. All of these people that have all these aspirations to do things, and just knowing how much it actually means. She wasn't able to finish the race the way that she wanted with a win. Wayne obviously had some issues too, but they still have a smile on their face. So take good notes, man. We really appreciate you guys joining us. Join us actually on Monday too. Monday we have a fantastic show lined up for you guys. We're going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada with our buddy James Jeremio. He's a professional short course racer. So man, it's going to be awesome to go up there. More inspiring stories. Thank you guys for living your dirt life with us. We'll see you guys soon.